We're just gonna awkwardly start this.
Yeah, we're just gonna awkwardly start this, and then I guess I'll cut, and then that's when the episode starts. Like that's the way to do it. Yeah.
So has it started? I guess this is.
Yeah, this is how
this is start.
Yeah. So we are back for episode 3 of the Bedroom ProgCast.
The name annoys me, but I like it.
That's the appropriate response. Yeah, and we are on some streaming services right now, and might be on some more by the time this airs. But so far, we are on Spotify and one other that the name wasn't catchy enough for me to remember it. But
no, is it some like
I have
random
podcast? some random streaming app that I forget the name of. I'm gonna get taken off this app after this episode goes up on it for sure. But
they already know which one they are.
Yeah,
nobody knows what they are.
You know. But yeah, here we are. What's up, Josh?
Yeah, how's it going, man? How you doing?
It's going all right. Same old. Playing guitar in a bedroom, going outside to catch some fresh air and getting going, and then going right back inside.
I know. I need those breaks. Like I can't just sit and play guitar. I'll literally get a headache. So like I have to walk outside and focus on something else.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing? It's not really funny. So like we both have the same film lights, and I kind of turn them on when I'm recording because my lights make noise, as we talked about last time.
Yeah.
But so when it's really late at night, I go full warm light instead of the blue light. And then I get less headaches.
Oh, how weird. Oh, so you use them as normal lights?
Well, not all the time. I have one kind of set up behind my desk. Like that's the one I'm using for my main light right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I turn it on when I'm recording because if I need to record without my regular lights on. But we talked about that last time. But yeah, like I go full warm. And then everything's like kind of yellow and orange, but I have no headaches. And then I can work till like 3 a.m.
Well, it's like that thing that Apple does. I think
exactly.
PC does it too now. But
it's exactly like that, except I hate it on my computer.
I actually use it every night. I like it.
You do?
I don't use it if I'm like, editing color or anything like that.
Right.
But if I'm just recording or browsing the internet or something, it helps me a lot because when I have that bright blue light, it definitely
it's painful,
keeps me up.
But
so dude, I've been listening to the Tigran thing today because it came out a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's a crazy album. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just listened to the track with Tosin because someone was like, yo, put it on. So I put it on, and it's obviously crazy because like those two guys on one recording, like I didn't know records could like withstand two guys like that on the same song. Like I didn't know I didn't know the technology was good enough for that to get captured.
Yeah,
but
I feel like for me, I feel like Tigran mixed with like an Animals as Leaders collaboration thing is like where I want prog to be. That's like my vision of what prog should be.
I completely agree. And you know what's really cool? So on Mock Roots, the most famous
album.
Yeah, the
like
album.
One of my favorite albums ever. Yeah.
The album that everybody was like, shit dog, like we gotta up our game. So the drums on that record are kind of metal, right? Like the kick is like a bit clicky and stuff. In the metal scoopy kick way, which I love obviously, and then on this new record he went full jazz drum sound, which is really interesting, like really boomy kick and stuff. But the drummer, even though I know I forget his name, he's a jazz guy, but he plays like a prog like chops guy, like and hits hard and stuff. It's a crazy sound, really, especially with Tosin, like on that track. It's just the sound design of the record is it's just really modern in every way. Like it's combining the sounds of these modern jazz records of the past 15 years, like Invisible Cinema by Aaron Parks or like all those other records, and combining that with the this new prog sound, like pushing the boundaries of fusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because like most prog, I don't really listen to.
Yeah, I feel you.
So like Tigran is like prog for me. That's like, because it's so harmonically interesting, and it's like the rhythm stuff. Maybe some of it, most of it is stuff that like a metal guy wouldn't normally play. Like all the
for sure,
the septuplets into like quintuplets, all the tuplets.
Yeah, so many tuplets. Yeah, like the way Tigran feels time is insane.
Yeah, but he also like phrases them differently than a metal band would, right? So like
absolutely,
when he has like the sevens into the fives and stuff, he'll be like and like a metal guy maybe wouldn't phrase it in that way.
Well, it's what you're exposed to, right? So he's an Armenian pianist. So the stuff that he's studied and transcribed is very harmonically and metrically dense, right? But if you're a metal player who's listened to metalcore for 10 years and like that's the stuff that's influencing your style, like obviously you're not gonna, the stuff that's coming out it's the stuff that's gonna come out of your playing isn't gonna be more exotic than the stuff that you're exposed to. But it's crazy that Tigran is popular in the metal scene. This kind of like artist that comes from a completely different background, popular in this modern metal scene. Like that's really cool. And I think that's the best way
more like the progressive metal scene. I don't know if he's popular in like a normal metal.
That's fair actually. You're totally right. But yeah, like
which is kind of why I like the progressive metal scene so much, is because it's metal musicians who actually listen to other music.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you go to a normal metal show, everyone's like, "Oh, metal is the only good music." But like at a progressive metal show, everyone's trying to get so much influence from everything else, from like jazz or from guys like Tigran, that it's much more my taste.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think like as an artist, like the goal would be to be popular in a different niche than your own.
That's true.
Right? Yeah. Like you have all these prog bands that are trying to be more straightforward and accessible because, if you get on a pop tour or if you break into that mainstream world, you're killing. Or you have these guys trying to get heavier to start reeling in the prog metal fans, you know what I'm saying? Or like Polyphia that's trying to do like trap to break into that world. Like the second you're the artist that stands out in a different niche, you're going to be in a good place, I think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's pretty hard for specifically prog because it's
absolutely.
So technically focused that a lot of people aren't into that.
For sure.
I mean, obviously I enjoy it, but I can definitely understand how some people are like, oh, it's too much, it's too flashy, and I would rather just have something that's catchy. So it's cool to see guys like Polyphia kind of go into and like capture some of the not the prog audience, but a different audience.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I respect that. Like you're trying to break into a different scene, and Tigran like fully did it to bring it back to that. He did it with the prog stuff. He's killing it. I got to see this band live. Like I
know,
man, that's going to be crazy. And Evan Marion on bass too. That guy's crazy. Evan Marion is like, I love him.
He's another one of those guys where it's like his music has influenced me so much.
Yeah, me too. And he was one of the last guys to play with Alan Holdsworth, which is like, like you just he was so close to greatness right before it was over. Like he played that last tour. I think that's when he got the gig with what's the drummer's name? Virgil Donati.
Oh, I did not know.
So Virgil Donati is like Alan Holdsworth's drummer for the past little while in the trio. I don't know the whole lore, to be honest, about how like that got together, but I know that that's who he was playing with for a while, and then Evan Marion joined. Like when did Alan die? 2018.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, he joined that year basically.
I love the stuff that Evan does with like Tim Miller or like Wayne Krantz.
Oh my god, that stuff is so cool.
And I hate how it's all in New York. I wish he would just fly here in LA, not Canada. Who cares about Canada? I'm just kidding. But
yeah, well, I could. I mean, not right now, but I'm way closer to New York than you are.
Right.
I could drive to New York. Not right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a hefty 7-hour, 8-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah,
like,
so not really
it.
like
not
drive
really.
super casually. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, it's like an hour.
No. Oh, bro. No. That's like I think Boston is like a couple hours away from New York.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like all that sort of like fusion, modern guitar fusion, the stuff that Tim Miller is doing, like with that type of trio, like I fuck with it. Like that's what I want to do sometimes.
Yeah. Dude, that tone that he gets, and like him and guys like Alan Holdsworth have been influencing me a ton, which I'm starting to hear it a little bit in my playing. I mean, obviously not anywhere close to their level, but I can definitely, I'm trying to go for that sometimes just because I love it so much.
But a whole generation of guitarists before our generation is heavily influenced by Alan, right? Like all the guys that we've transcribed are heavily influenced by Alan. So it comes down, like you have this whole generation of guitarists that kind of like have those tendencies, like that legato thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But it's like a very, very, I feel like there's different kinds of legato, right? There's legato where you can really hear the accent of every note. And then there's a legato where it's super smooth sounding. And I feel like
he's
a
definitely,
lot of the slower Alan Holdsworth stuff was like that.
Yeah, he's definitely on the liquidy, smoother side. Although like everything he phrases was like perfectly in time. Like I don't know how he was doing that stuff. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. And I think with the prog generation taking from that is, sorry to rephrase that. I'm going to try to say a better sentence. So taking that kind of smooth legato style and pushing that right now, like a lot of players are making it more percussive, more like metrically obvious, like the Division, like Tom Quayle obviously does he's always like on the grid. Exactly.
Right. That was kind of the name that came to mind when I was thinking about it.
Yeah. Like, so he's like, you can hear
every note sounds super defined.
Exactly. Which is like very different from a player like Alan Holdsworth. It's just a very different way to not only phrase, but to also feel the time. Right. Like it's more angular, less, straightforward. And I think there's like good and bad there's just different qualities to like the weight of phrasing like that, right? Like I tend to be a bit more on the grid when I phrase my legato, but it's just because that's what I've been conditioned to do, But like players like oh man, I'm so bad at names. But yeah, some players are just like on the complete opposite of the spectrum of that legato percussive thing. It's very interesting. I feel like
your legato is very percussive, which I like.
Like yours is as well, especially because of the hybrid stuff.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's what it is then.
Yeah,
the hybrid picking really adds that percussiveness to it, but at the same time, I'm still trying to be more. I think I'm more influenced by the tone actually of like Alan Holdsworth and stuff like that. Like that's been
I agree.
Kind of getting in my playing a lot, which I like.
No, it's only good.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I as a kid, I didn't understand Alan Holdsworth. Like it took me a while to like get it and be like, oh, this is sick. It took me a while to be able to listen to it and appreciate it. Like only in the past few years I've been like, man, like I need to get some of that. But before I was like, how do you listen to this?
I was always put off by the sound of the songs until recently. Now I love it.
You mean like I remember the audio, like the recording quality, you mean?
Like the tones and stuff. Yeah. And I remember the bass tone, I was like, oh, it has like that cheesy
fusion.
Right. But now I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like
I
the
appreciate it
live
for what it
albums
is.
way more. I like the live albums way more than his recorded albums because it's like, it's gonna sound like shit anyways, and then you hear like him performing, right? Like that live album with Non-Brewed Condiment on it is fucking crazy. Just like, oh, or that album he has with a singer, man. Oh, that's such a trippy album. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
So it's like trio, and then he has a singer, and whoever decides to sing in a band with Alan Holdsworth, like that guy has huge balls, like, because bro, like the changes, bro, it makes no sense. But like that album is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Always cool hearing a singer sing over changes.
I know, I love it.
I feel like I guess I'm in a different world, but like when I hear like a normal pop singer and like stuff like that, it's not, they don't even have the ability to hear that there's changes going on, or they can maybe hear, oh, this is a different key, but I don't know what key it is.
Are you talking some shit right now? Is that
No. I just really appreciate when a singer knows theory and stuff.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Like, it's also, I feel like singers singing over complex changes catches the ear way more than instruments doing that. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily because it happens less, although that's definitely the case, but I think it's just, the vocals have such an impact on the listener. Like even I as a guitarist, like the vocals are the stuff that catches me in a lot of recordings, right? So when you have like complex harmony being carried by the most easily perceived instrument in the band, I think it creates something really interesting. Right?
I think also vocals have more of an obligation to like pick the right notes.
Yeah. To
sing over changes or just sing in general. When a guitar player, you can kind of just like,
you can kind of
noodle. And get to the, you can get to the right notes at some point, but like I feel like a singer, you have to be hitting the best choices for each.
Yeah, you got to make it count.
Right.
And you know what? You know what's crazy in vocalists and there's none of that. There's not enough chromaticism in vocal lines.
Oh yeah.
But
is that what you want in vocal lines?
Yeah, that's what I want in vocal lines. But when you hear it, like when you hear Esperanza Spalding's tunes and she does like a chromatic line in her lines, just like shit dog, like that slaps, like it's real hip and it stands out really well, it stands out a lot from the song because that's such a rare thing to happen in lines, especially in melodies. Like, vocal solos will have it because the person that's soloing like will know like to do that sort of stuff. But in a main melody to have a chromatic line,
it's a bold move.
It's a bold move, but fuck, I'm into it. Yeah, it's crazy. That stuff is whack. Man, like, but that's the thing with vocals. Like, I feel like the barrier to entry is really low, and that's fine because, like, vocalists, there's so many amazing vocalists that don't do any of the stuff that we're talking about. But once you get above that threshold where you start doing like hip things, everybody notices.
Right, that is interesting. I guess vocals is the instrument with the least barrier to entry.
And not to say that like vocalists who aren't doing that stuff don't work hard. Like they're just working hard on different things, right? Like I can't sing for shit. I'm absolutely not talking shit about singers. I just feel like
no one needs to hear my voice either.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I'm just saying like the barrier for entry to be like a singer is low. Just like the barrier for entry of bass is lower than guitar. Like it's way easier for me to get a kid to play a bass line than it is for me to get a kid to play a G chord. Right. But both instruments are just as hard.
Oh, for sure.
That's the kind of that's the thing I'm trying to say about vocals.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that like people perceive those instruments like that. They don't think about, bass and guitar are just as hard to learn or to get like, proficient at.
Right.
They think, bass is easier because it's 4 strings. and then they leave it at that. And that's like the general population thinks about instruments.
Yeah, everything is hard.
Right, exactly.
Everything worth doing is hard.
There's no easy instrument, you know? There's just some that are easier to start than others, but like that goes away pretty quickly.
Absolutely. But I think like finding a way to make every instrument accessible is important.
Well, how about this? How did you start guitar?
Oh, Guitar Hero all the way.
Really?
Yeah, like I was playing Guitar Hero like when I was 11. And then
were you good at it?
No. I might have been, but anyways, like in one of the like bonus menus, there was like, oh, like Guitar Hero is like pretty close to real guitar, and then it was a video of a guy talking about that, and I was like, shit, maybe I should see if I can play guitar, and then fucking look at me now.
You're like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, I still can't play guitar. But yeah, like I actually no. Here, so funny story. So when I was 8. I was in school and I was like, oh, like I wanted to start learning guitar. So I did a year of classical guitar, and then the guitar teacher told my parents, I think you should like try another instrument or something. Cause he's like not putting any work into it. So that's really funny. Cause that totally happened. So that's like me at 8. And then at like 11, I was like, oh, like I want to play electric guitar.
Yeah.
And my parents got me like a few lessons to start just to see how it was. Cause my dad had a Strat. It's trash guitar, but it was just like a really old Strat. So I kind of just did that for a little while and see how it to see how it would go. And then, and then I was like fucking hooked right away. I was practicing hours.
Do you remember like, did you want to learn songs at first, or were you just like?
Yeah. Like I wanted to, I tried to learn some AC/DC riffs, and then 6 months in, I was like, I want to learn Switch All of Mine, like all the cheesy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I was all, it was like, like here's a pentatonic scale. And then I was like, I was done. Once you show me the pentatonic scale,
that's still all I need.
Yeah, fuck. It still serves me good. But yeah, like once I got the pentatonic scale and he was like, okay, now we can jam. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And
okay. Oh, so you and your dad had like a pretty good back and forth with,
no, so guitar. This is like me and the teacher.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, my dad like has picked up the guitar every so often and like has tried playing new instruments since. But my dad's like he's on the grind, like he's like on that doctor grind. So he doesn't really like he played guitar in his 20s, and then like through at some point in med school he just didn't have time anymore. But he vicariously lives through me.
Oh yeah,
which is cool. Like he's into it. He likes them that I'm like committed to this guitar thing. Right. But yeah, so
they're
like
actually good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like a few months into it, I was hooked, and then fucking here we are, 11 years later or whatever. What about you? What's how'd you get here?
Do you want to know my origin?
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, so I was, obviously I love Guitar Hero too, but I didn't play Guitar Hero till after I started guitar, I guess.
Right.
So my grandma got me like an acoustic from like, where is it from? What was that toy store? Toys R Us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was like the worst guitar the worst acoustic you could possibly imagine. But, and then my dad had like the songbook of like classic rock songs. And so then I started learning the songs. And I think the first song I learned was like a Bon Jovi song. Fuck. And then that defines my whole world is classic rock songs.
Yeah.
So I played acoustic for a while, just like simple open chords and stuff. And then I would like write my own songs with just like 3 chords, I remember how difficult it was to switch between the different open chords. I'd be like, oh, how the hell do you go from a G to a D? And I was like, I cannot do it like easily. I have to really focus.
Yeah. I remember the revelation that some fingers can stay in the same place.
Yeah.
That was a huge stepping stone for me. Yeah, yo, you know what's funny about Guitar Hero? Is that Guitar Hero is basically sight reading. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Yeah, but for that reason, I'm still bad at Guitar Hero.
Oh, because you're bad at sight reading, or
yeah, like I'm like better at sight reading than like the average guitarist, which is not saying much because the average guitarist is not good at sight reading. Like, and I am not good at sight reading, but I can like.
Sorry, I was swatting a fly.
Oh no, it's all good. But yeah, so else. Like, I can read, but sight reading is like a whole different challenge. And Guitar Hero is like sight reading 5 notes. You know, because you see it coming at you and you have to hit it on time.
See, I'm good at Guitar Hero, but I'm horrible at sight reading.
Well, obviously, like it's a different thing, right? But having gotten better at sight reading, getting better at sight reading in real life should translate to getting better at Guitar Hero, because Guitar Hero is like the simple part, the simple version of sight reading.
I think this is something that people haven't really discussed enough, right? Guitar Hero and sight reading should be close. Need to be close.
Okay, we need to
be linked closer, right?
We need to do a case study on if people that are good at sight reading get better at Guitar Hero. Because I know it doesn't go the other way around. Like you can be really good at Guitar Hero, but you won't be good at sight reading because there's like a lot of different notes, right?
Right.
But like, if you're really good at sight reading, that is the reflex to read ahead and act on time appropriately, you definitely are better at Guitar Hero. And I won't even mention like that Guitarsmith game where you plug in a real guitar. That's not even real shit. Like that's just shit game.
Dude, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, I feel bad for anyone who gets it. I'm like, it seems like such a... I feel like people waste their money on it because they see it as like, oh, it could be like a fun, like Guitar Hero-ish way to get into guitar. But it's like the people who made it, they fully well know that it's not working.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they advertise it like that, because the thing is like, you can get a good score on the song and then you won't have played any of the song on time, right? I think it's just, you're just not practicing the right things.
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
It's fucking whatever.
I feel like it's a horrible way to get into actual guitar.
Yeah. Guitar Hero is probably a good way to get into guitar, because it's like, this isn't actual guitar, but imagine if it was, and then you have to like...
Right.
You have to like go...
I think Guitar Hero is a much better way, because you're not setting up like this weird way of learning guitar.
Yeah. It's cool. It's like the gateway to ruining your life with buying gear.
It's more just
nonstop.
About like feeling what does it feel like to finally nail a part.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's what Guitar Hero gives you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and finally nailing a part in real life is a whole thing.
Yeah.
I've never nailed a part in my life.
Never.
I always just get through it and hope no one notices.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's enough about Guitar Hero.
Yeah, but we should do the case study on sight reading Guitar Hero.
I know. We'll talk about this. We'll get some funding.
We should get a grant, a grant to study this.
Yeah. The world needs to know.
The world does need to know.
Now, I don't know why this would even matter, you know? Like, why would a guitar player who is very proficient at sight reading want to start playing Guitar Hero?
Well, bro, like, if you stream video games, you're going to make more money than playing real guitar.
That's a good point. Let's not talk about that. Okay, let's move on.
Bro.
Dude, so we're both pretty heavy on the Instagram grind, kind of. You just posted some cool shit.
Oh, yeah. Funny story about that, actually. So I posted this video on Friday, but the day I wrote that was an interesting day. So my sleep schedule's fucked because of the quarantine and like my regular life.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
dude, my sleep schedule's actually been better than it's ever been.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. Like, you're not a normal person. Like, my schedule is like, I'm just like waking up really late and going to bed really late. So I had this genius idea that I was going to stay up all night on Wednesday and then go to bed the next day. And I had regular time and like see if I could reset it. Spoiler, it didn't work. It didn't work at all.
Yeah, no shit.
Listen, buddy, it was a good idea. In practice, it just didn't work. You know? Anyways.
That sounds like a sleep deprived idea.
I know. Anyways, I did it. So I wrote that riff. I mean, not the riff. Like I definitely recorded it on Friday because I couldn't have performed that well, like sleep deprived, right? No chance. Mm-hmm. So I wrote like the groove and the drum groove at like 2 a.m. that Thursday morning, you know, and then I stayed up, you know, I finished my book. I went to go see the sunrise at like 6 a.m. and it was pretty sick, honestly. It was pretty lit. And then I got home and I was like, okay, like, you know, it's 7. I'm going to like shower, have breakfast and see if I can like, you know, maybe practice and then like evaluate how I feel in the afternoon, maybe nap and then go to sleep. And so I start practicing soloing to that backing track, you know, in efforts to like record the video at some point. And then I just could not do any of it. I couldn't do any of it. Like, because I like my whole like improvisation like reflexes, you know, like being able to like make decisions on time and in confidence, like went completely away. Like I couldn't read the MIDI I had programmed to play it. I couldn't like hit the changes on time. My phrasing was shit. Obviously I hadn't slept. So then I decided to nap and then it was noon. It was, I just wasted a day basically. But the Instagram post was good in the end. Like I one taked. I'm very proud of myself that when I pressed record on the camera and on the computer, that first take that I did was the one that ended up being the final take. I don't think
I've ever done that.
It happens very rarely, but it's never happened to me with all the recording and the camera. Like it's happened to me a couple of times when I do an iPhone vid. Like when I did the Jack Gardner solo on his track, like that was like first take. I was like, wow, this is good enough for Instagram, you know? But it's pretty rare. That would be an interesting challenge, right? To see, like, to tell people, like, okay, like the one take challenge, like you press record and then you post.
Right. You have one take. Oh man.
That'd be crazy. We should start that. Maybe I'll see if I can make it happen. That'd be good. There's too much miming and editing. I have no problem for it. I have no care in the world for people miming. You got to do what you got to do, as we've talked about last time. But I think it'd be interesting to put people in a situation where if they want to participate, they have to like just do one take.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
there's no way to regulate that, but it could be cool.
Well, I think, you know, make a backing track. The rules are iPhone video only, first take.
Wait, you have to film yourself downloading the backing track.
No, I mean, yeah, we can't.
You can't cut the camera.
Yeah, you can't.
And then you have to face it.
You can't.
I'm just kidding.
You can't regulate that part, but I think we can trust the public.
Yeah.
You know,
it'd
like,
be cool.
bro,
I want to do like some kind of challenge and hear people play.
Yeah, like I can tell if someone wrote a solo. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
you can, to some extent, you can tell if someone's sweating because they're improvising or because they're lax because they wrote the solo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like you can tell when I'm improvising and when I've written the solo. Like there's a clear difference in my mannerism. Yeah, like I feel like I lick my lips more when I'm improvising. I don't know if it's as big of a difference
as you think it is.
Sorry?
In your I don't think it's as obvious as you think it is.
Right. No, of course. But I mean, like, those videos of Guthrie Govan playing to those backing tracks, like he's obviously improvising. You can see him like phrasing in real time. Right. But when someone plays a written solo, there's kind of like a lax nature to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, like I feel like I can. I'm you know. I don't know. Maybe I'd be wrong most of the time, but I think it'd be interesting to propose the challenge. You know, think about it. We'll see what happens. Could be good content.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of why I brought up Instagram. Oh, I kind of wanted to talk about like how it's a good tool for networking, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Because I see people putting stuff on Instagram, but then they're trying to use it to network. Mm-hmm. But then they're putting out stuff that kind of sounds garbage or like the quality's just not there. And the way I see it, like if you're putting that stuff out there and then trying to network yourself with it, like you have to be putting out stuff that you're actually,
because it's like your I
see it as a business card.
Absolutely, or like a CV or something. Like if you want people
like, I'm sure we've both gotten plenty of opportunities or like
absolutely
gigs through Instagram.
Yeah, because it's basically like, how do you want to portray yourself to the world, right? And I like Instagram for networking way more than I like Instagram to like build a fan base, because even if you don't have that many fans or like you're not really on the like consistent post grind, right? Like you're way more on that grind than I am. Like I'm not posting as much as you, and there's a clear difference in the interaction between our pages because of that, right? But in terms of networking, I feel like the people who, it's so weird to say, the people who matter in the industry, like the people who you want to like interact with in the industry, like everybody that's doing cool shit is looking for people that are sick, no matter how much exposure they have, right? Like, you know, there's pages with like way less followers than me that have interacted with these bigger dogs just because they're amazing players.
Right. No, that's what it's about. Because I see some people being like, "Oh, he's only friends with this person because he has a bunch of Instagram followers." But like, I feel like in the prog music scene or whatever you want to call it, it's more just about, are you good or not? They don't really care.
Yeah, like if someone's looking for someone for a job, you know, like me and you are clearly in a niche. Like the second someone needs a guitarist that can do what like I can do, like me and maybe a handful of other guitarists are ready to go, right? Like within like all of America, let's say, you know, like I don't know a guitarist like me in Montreal, you know, like I know maybe a couple, but they're still on a different grind. So in terms of like knowing who's around and who's available, that's what I think Instagram is really good for, because it's breaking down the barriers of like knowing your local scene, right? And it's not, the numbers don't matter. Like the numbers are good, like if you're trying to sell a product or if you're trying to hype your music up, like that's great, obviously, but that's a different conversation, right? The networking, it's like, oh, like I need a bassist. You open Instagram, you know, who's available? You know, how much do these guys charge? And competition is good, right? Like all over the world right now, how many bassists can do the prog thing really well? 5, 6, less than 10 people? Maybe more, but like I don't know about
specifically what you're looking for.
Of course.
But if you're talking about like, you know, a guy like Jacob, I can't think of his last name.
Umansky, or like, what's the Australian, what's his name? Toby Peterson. Toby Peterson. Like those guys like are in that bass niche, but who else is in that kind of thumping, like technical bass player? Who else is there? You know, I can maybe think.
I know. I'm sure there are more who just aren't on Instagram, but they're not on Instagram, so I don't freaking know who they are.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like a bunch of them that I just don't know, but off the top of my mind, the list is short. Right? Maybe I haven't interacted with them. Or maybe they haven't like actively tried to network. But as like a musician, you're always looking for other musicians, and any freelancing type endeavor is like that, right? Like you want to be able to network with people who can do what you need them to do, right? Because if I need something done, I'm going to go to the person that's going to get it done the quickest and the best. Right? Like I'm not going to take a chance on someone that I've never seen them do work. Right? Which is why
exactly.
That's why Instagram is so great.
Which is why I like Instagram.
Yeah, you know, if someone hits me up,
it's like
if someone hits me up for a solo, like they know that I've done this. They can just look at my page and see that I can do the work. Same thing for you, same thing for all these bassists, right? But if you hit up someone that's never done like quality work, you don't know. You don't know if they can do it.
Yeah. I'd also say that's why it's so important that you're only putting out high quality playing. It doesn't have to look the best or like sound perfect, but like you need high quality playing because you're the one curating your Instagram.
Absolutely.
Or whatever thing you're using, maybe Facebook or something.
Sure.
But Instagram's the main one. Anyways, if I look at your page and you have some stuff that's not that great, and I'm like, you had a choice to not post this, but you posted it anyways, it makes me think that's the best you could put out for that thing.
Yeah, I think there's a bit wrong with the way with thinking of it like that. Just because if that's how...
I guess it depends what your goal with posting is.
Right.
Like, are you trying to show this is what I can do, or are you trying to show your progress on something?
Yeah, if something is clearly bad, like it's bad, obviously. But I think if everybody thinks that way, there might be this wave of fake playing, right? Like if everybody's editing everything, then everybody has to edit everything to keep up, right? It's like being university and taking Adderall. If everybody's taking Adderall, you have to take Adderall because it's the average.
But there's a big difference between bad playing and absolutely perfect,
for sure,
completely edited playing.
Of course, and a lot of the playing that goes up on my Instagram, I end up hating pretty quickly after. You know?
but I'm not really talking about something like that because your playing that you post, no matter what the video or audio quality is, I can tell it's a high level.
Right.
You wouldn't post something with mistakes or that has bad tone or bad intonation or whatever. Yeah,
I see what you mean. Like you're looking for that standard.
I guess I don't even know who I'm talking to at this point. Like who am I giving this message to?
Who is bad? Who's really bad on Instagram that we can
who's really bad but really trying to network at the same time?
Yeah, who can we talk mad shit about right now? I don't know. No one really comes to mind because if someone did that, like I'm not even like thinking about them. Like the type of people that like messages you like, "Hey man, like I really like this. Would you like check out my page and see what's up?" Sometimes I check out their pages and then sometimes it's really bad. And I'm just like, okay, like you got to get some priorities straight, dog.
Yeah, so I guess don't do that. Don't do that. Try to share yourself when you're not ready.
Yeah. But like, what does it mean to be ready? Right. Because some people will never do anything because they think they're not ready.
Well, I never reached out to people who I like looked up to or who I always just collaborate with.
I always hit up people right after they follow me back. I'm just like, yo, man.
That's what you did with me.
Yeah, it's obviously what I did with you. I was like, yo, man, I fucking love your shit. Thanks for the follow back, bro.
I don't think I've ever done that.
It's a huge move. Like
I'm actually pretty bad at Instagram networking. I just kind of let people hit me up.
No, you're killing it. You're killing it, bro. It's better. It's better that way. I'm just like,
do you have like a way that you think about it?
No, networking? I'm just like, well, if someone follows me back, like the DM is like totally fair game. Right. So I'm just like, yo, like, thanks for the follow back, bro. I've been following your shit for like literally 6 years. Like you are amazing. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Cause I'm just, and then, like most of the time it's like, yo, bro, you're sick, bro. So then it's like the circle jerk. Like, and all of a sudden you're fucking having beers, you're having beers at a bar in LA. Like that's just step one, step two. Yeah. So it's just,
that's so funny.
Like that's I
know the circle thing of, oh, you're good. No, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so stupid.
That's the ideal scenario. But yeah, I don't know. Like
it's a great feeling, but it's very silly.
Other than that, like I just try to always do sick shit myself. Mm-hmm. And I always try to be genuine about telling people that they're also doing sick shit.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's another thing is you have to be extremely genuine. There's no point in trying to do this if you're like
a sleaze bag.
Right. Or like trying to fake your way into
exactly, like
connections and stuff.
Like
it's
like
stupid.
There's a lot of amazing players out there, and I know that if those guys made an effort, put an effort to like reach out to me, it would make me feel good. So I try to do that to all these players that I respect. Right? Like when I see a video of a guy I respect, I check it out. I'm just like, damn, that was sick. I'm gonna fucking comment that.
Right.
Damn, that was sick. Because it's like
you ever comment, you ever talk shit on a comment?
No, I mean
that's the correct response. Never. That's so crazy that people do that.
Yeah, I'll like if something puts something controversial, like something that I might have a different take on, like I'm down to start conversations, but it's never from a place of attacking people, right? Like I would never talk shit for someone. Like I've given constructive criticisms on posts of people that are clearly like working on some shit, but I'd never just, I'm not going to fucking talk shit, bro.
No, never.
Yo, check out my page for a feature. Yo, check your DMs for a feature.
Yeah.
Fuck those posts.
Oh, I know. They're so stupid. Well, I guess this kind of leads into another thing. So, you know, we both get a decent amount of people viewing the stuff. Not everyone that comments is commenting something nice, right? Do you end up just ignoring anyone that like is trying to talk shit on you?
Sometimes.
Or do you like engage with it?
It depends. I try not to. I've been pretty good. Like what's really cool is when someone talks shit and then someone else talks shit to them. I like that because it's like, yes, fight.
Also, because that person responding can be way more aggressive than it would be appropriate for you to be.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, good, fucking get it, bro. Let's go. You know, you just comment the popcorn emoji, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fuck with that. I like, and yo, like comment fights are great for me. Yo, the more comments I get, good or bad, the better the algorithm will treat me. So fight all you want.
Well, how do you think, is there any that like actually get to you? Or does it have to be like very specific to something that you care about?
Nothing gets to me. There was a few that I just found annoying. There was one that there was one. Okay, there's two that I would get a lot a long time ago. Not anymore. There's one where it was like, "Oh, you're never smiling," and I was like, "Yo, bro, like I'm literally trying to nail this take. Like, fuck off."
Yeah, who cares about that?
Yeah, and then there was one. Oh man, bro, I still get this sometimes. It's like, yo, like I didn't know Post Malone could play guitar.
Oh, that's not talking shit, though.
No, I know, but I hate it, bro, because I get it so often. I get it like...
I've gotten messages that I look like Mark Juliana.
That's fucking funny. Yeah. I got the Post Malone thing a lot more when I had long hair. I actually did Post Malone for Halloween a couple times. You know, drew on my face, braided my hair type of thing. But like, no, I don't get that much.
You played into it.
Yeah, I played into it. It's easy. You gotta own it. Mark Juliana.
Okay, well, maybe less about Instagram then. How do you take negativity towards like music that you write?
If it's constructive, like I read it, but usually because it usually comes from people that haven't done much themselves, right? So like if you don't do much yourself, but have like something to add to this work that I've put 12 months of my life in, I think it's not really your place. If someone tells me something, if someone who I respect tells me something, I'll take it. But usually like by the time something's out, I'm not taking criticisms. And at that point, like if I show you a mix or a demo, like give me all the criticisms you want. And I'm actively looking for that when it's a work in progress, obviously.
Right, of course.
But after it's out, if you're like looking to criticize, like you're not really, you don't get it. Like if it's out, it's because I've decided that it's done. Right? Like I'm not going to go back and do something. So like your constructive criticism, like is going to nowhere. So I think I know it's well intentioned, but frankly, I think people that do that don't really understand what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely not against people being critical of music because
of course
I understand that stuff isn't for everybody. I think more like how do you say it to the artist? Because you have to like put yourself in their headspace, be like, this person put so much time into this art, right? And art is such a subjective thing anyways, right? So you not liking something, what would you saying why you don't like it or saying that you don't like it benefit anyone except you just getting shit off your chest?
Yeah, exactly. Like if if something's out, chances are it's done. And you can only evaluate art on if you think the artist was successful in doing what they set out to do. And if you think they weren't, that's up to you, bro. But like,
yeah, I think the stuff that gets to me is when people are overly confident that their opinion is like the opinion.
Yeah.
It's like their opinion is like the one that everyone should have.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that annoys me.
Or you know what I actually really don't like? It's like, oh, you guys should release an instrumental version. I fucking hate that. Like, bro,
like, some people like instrumental music.
I know, but like,
I do.
Bruh, like the singer's part of the band. If you want like, it's so fucking stupid, bro. If you want an instrumental version of my track, buy my stems and make your own.
That's funny. You should say that to people.
Yeah, I stole that from Periphery. Misha said that a couple of times, but like, it's true, okay. Bro. Like fuck off.
That's
like,
funny.
You don't like the most important aspect of my music.
Right. That's like being like, oh, I wish you released a guitarless version. I don't like the guitar.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? That's like the song. The song is the guitar.
The song is the guitar. Every song is the vocals, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with listening to the instrumental versions of records, but asking for it, I think, is kind of entitled as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're not thinking about it like it's that big of a deal.
Well, obviously, those people don't really think that much before they say things.
Damn, you're going in.
Yeah. I think if we keep going much longer, I think I'm about to talk some mad shit. So we should end it right here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah. So thanks.
Leave the shit talking to
leave the shit talking
podcast.
after the podcast is over. But yeah, so you can follow me and Josh on Instagram. Our Instagram handles are at the corners of the page. At Joseph is at Joseph_is_rad and at Josh Della. We're both working on some music, and we'll be back maybe. Goodbye.
Maybe. Bye.